Greetings everyone, Eric here, and I just wanted to kind of come to you guys really quick with something that I learned during my stream that I did for I think day 4. I was having some trouble with a background on a comic, so here, let me load up one of my comic. So this will actually be a nice way for you to just actually see progress, without seeing progress. All right, so I loaded here. Here's the page I was working on last night. These are not final colors, by the way. I think I'm going to change him so he looks a little different, but I'll deal with that in another thing. There was something that I was missing from Photoshop, and that was the Paths tool. The Paths tool allows me to do stuff like these windows much easier, so I don't have to draw them individually and then copy and blah, blah, blah. You can just drag a path over, edit the path, and then stroke the path. Well, I found the replacement for that here in Manga Studio. And what it is it's your materials menu right over here. As you can see here, I already have 2 here, Windows and Windows 1, Windows 2. This one is for smaller ones, which I used here. And then this one is the bigger one here. Now, these are pretty much what paths were, except they're saved images. So let me show you how to do that. So, for instance, let's say right over here, I want there to be like those lined windows, and it's something that I want to repeat. And let's say I make it, and it's something I want to use whenever I want to do windows similar to that. So let's say I want to do that. Let's make some windows for this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go over to New, make a new canvas. We're going to make this a pretty big image, but we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to make this kind of, let's keep it at 11 by 17 because we're going to use this whole thing. You want to make these really big, so you just quickly do that. So now, let's say this is going to be a building. So what I want to do here is I can take my tools here, like my Polygon select tool and all, set it so that's normal. Let's make sure it's black. Now let's see what it's at. Okay, so it's pretty thin. So let's take that and let's make it much bigger. So it's still a little small. So what we're going to do is we're going to bump it up, like really big. Not that big. That was a bit much. A little smaller than that. Doesn't need to be stupid. Remember, doesn't need to be stupid. All right, yeah, that's good. So for here, we'll do maybe 30. Yeah, because this is a really big image. So what we're going to do here is quickly just set it up so that we have what we need. So let's just make like a basic window set here, which I'm actually going to use the rectangle tool, which I can do, because this is actually going to be a bunch of rectangles. And let's just quickly kind of make a bigger one here, like the main one. Excuse the sniffles. I am I don't have a cold, but I am dealing with sinus issues because of the cold. So let's break that down. Try to do this accurately, which is hard to do with a with the tablet. It's much easier to do with a mouse, so I'm actually going to use the mouse to do this. And now let's break this down even more. Let's break that down even more. One more in half. And then one more here in half. This doesn't need to be perfect. This is just me, showing you what I'm doing. And then now we can kind of break these down even further by just doing actual window planes like this. So let's just do that, and then do that again right here. Do that again. This isn't going to be perfect, mind you. It doesn't have to be, because this is just me showing you what to do. Okay, so let's say that's going to be my window planes. Like, this is going to be one of those ones where it's the long building with a lot of windows. So what I'm going to do here, I have my image here, so I can open up this, open up my material menu. Let me rename this so that it's properly named. So in this case, this will be Windows 3. And what I can literally do here, all I got to do, because this is a solid layer, because you see this white is the background. It's actually transparent, so make sure you are doing that on a transparent layer. You want nothing filled in here on the layer behind it. So take this layer, drag it on over into your materials, let go, and give it a sec, and boom, it saved it. Now what this does now is if I come over here, and let's say I'm on here, let's make sure I'm on a good layer. It should create a new layer if I'm not mistaken. Drag this over into your window. Now you see it's going to be stupid huge, as you can see there. But that's fine, because as long as we click on that to make sure that we're selected here. Yeah, it is stupidly huge, by the way, as you can see here. And you got to be careful because you will accidentally move stuff without thinking you're moving stuff. So you really got to be like extra careful of what you're grabbing onto. So because that is a whole new layer on its own, we can go to Edit, Transform, Free Transform, which now makes it so that I can sit here and freely move it and edit it. So obviously this means it's going to warp majorly. So one of the things you want to do is, before you do that, which I should have done here, I should hit Enter so that it stops doing that, is do the regular transform, just scale and rotate so that I can get it properly scaled up in here. All right, so you see here, I have it so that I can easily set it up and get it, you know, properly set within this area here. So I just kind of follow it on the corner, get it, you know, nice and set up. Get the width set, which you can't really do here. So just get it to where it lines up to what you want to do here. And as you can see, it pretty much lines up the way I want it to. So once you get that, then you can do the free transform, which is basically a warp. And now you can really get in and have some fun. So you can move it like that. So basically you can just move it like that. Now obviously this is going to change because if I turn on, yes, you can apply. Now remember, this is on a monochrome layer, so you don't have to worry about distortion. So have fun with it. That's my perspective. As you see, these need to go that way. So let's again just pop on here, free transform, and let's have a little fun here because we need this all to follow perspective. Now I do need to move this up because it's not quite perfect where it is. And remember, you can always just, you know, fiddle around and edit things as you go. And that's actually pretty close enough. Now obviously there are some errors because of the fact that I did this, you know, I didn't do this properly. You know, there are better ways to do this. I'm just kind of rushing it right now, which you should never do. Don't rush stuff like this. As I should have made a little bit bigger, a much taller version of this to fit. But you can see here, it pretty much fits in there. So when I hit, you know, Enter, it's there. It's, you know, it's done. You know, I don't really have to do anything. Now, obviously, because I've been fiddling with it, it's a little off in certain areas, like, you know, right here. It's a little off because, again, I was rushing this. Do not rush when you're doing stuff like this. And again, this is kind of fuddled with just because, again, rushing. I can easily fix that just by, you know, going for myself, you know, for my own sake. What do I have this set at? 20, which is way too big. Yeah, that's way too big. So let's find what isn't too big. Yeah, it's still too big. Yeah, that should be still too big. I'm doing this the hard way, which I always do things kind of the wrong way. But, you know, you kind of get the point here. At least you get, like, you understand what I'm talking about here. And then I'll just kind of enter. So you see, it's a quick, easy way of getting things the way you want. Now, it takes a little time to get used to just because if you're more used to the paths tool, you know, obviously you're going to be used to that and it's going to act a little differently. So just, you know, keep in mind that this is something to replace your paths tool by simply using the materials here. So that's just something I wanted to show you guys. I don't need to do that. I can just close that whole window. So I just wanted to show you guys that. And actually, from when I'm sitting at now that I'm looking at it, all I really got to do is clean that up and it's fine. So I'll actually probably keep that and just, you know, obviously go in here and clean that up by taking, you know, the brush tool and just kind of near, because remember, this is all going to be one layer eventually, so I don't really care about, you know, coming over here and, you know, fixing all these little errors here, which you can still fix things like what I was doing here, when I was doing that. If you want to do that where you're doing it kind of like in Photoshop, which right now I'm on, let's see if I put it on 4. You can click, hold Shift, and you can do the same thing. So let me kind of drag myself down here. If you hold Shift, you can do exactly the same thing and just boom, click. And you got the same thing. Now for me, I set up my Logitech controller so I can hit Shift without having to hold Shift on the keyboard, because the keyboard is kind of out in the, out of the way. So I can literally just hold a button on my thing to do that. So that's just something you can think about. Just some things you can work with if you are used to using the paths tool and you wanted something to get around that. That's how you get around it. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you for watching. I know this was a quick unedited video, really. So yeah, it's about 10 minutes. So that's a little longer than I wanted to. But thank you for watching, and I will see you guys hopefully in another video where I'll probably do, on Tuesday, I'll probably do an actual video showing my progress for my 100 days. So I'll see you guys then.